Hi, welcome to Wrinkle Society of Hope. Thank you for those who continue to support us by following and listening in on the amazing stories that those women have shared about the wrinkles that they pressed through in life in order to become the success that they are today. And this is your first time, welcome to Wrinkle Society of Hope. And guess what? I would love to have an interview with you. So come on and share your story of motivation and encouragement for others. And guess what? Don't forget, hit subscribe and share our YouTube channel. And don't forget, hit that notification bell so that you can be notified of when a new amazing woman comes share her story. And guess, we are also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, so you can listen in if you don't have the opportunity to watch. Thank you so much for coming today and listen for this amazing story. See you soon. Hello, Wrinkles family. I am here and excited to bring my friend. This amazing woman has come and to want to share with the Wrinkles family. So I'm going to have her introduce herself to you all.
Hello, my name is Janise Johnson. I am an Army veteran. I have a newsletter called the Black Veteran Newsletter. I am an author and a poet. I have a book at the editor and 3 more that I am working to push out within the next 6 to 12 months. I am a public speaker. I'm an advocate, and I'm just trying to advocate for Black veterans and my people. And I also am a part of a group. I don't want to say the name of it, but we are saving some of the Black history and Black military history fund on the internet. We are saving that so that that information can be saved outside of the government websites so that we could preserve our history.
Well, as you hear, a roll of things that Janise has been a part of. But the biggest thing is, first of all, we thank you for serving our country. When were you in the military? What branch? And how many years did you serve?
I was in the Army from 1988 to 92, and that was 4 years.
4 years. Yes. Well,
Yes.
we know that we don't take it lightly. We honor our veterans every day, not just during Veterans Day. Every day we honor our veterans because you all took the time to put your lives on the line to serve our country. And the years that you spoke of, that means you're still a little seasoned, but not too seasoned, and still young at heart and young in the face. So have you had any physical changes, and how did you feel as you got a little bit more seasoned about the physical changes that you had?
Yes, when I was in the military, I'm gonna go back to that. My last 2 years, one of the reasons I did not reenlist is because I had some health problems, and that particular health problem has continued throughout, my career. Because I worked for the VA for 23 years and retired in 2021. So that physical problem that I had in the military actually is probably my biggest problem. But as life changes go with, being older, going through menopause and all that other stuff, I don't like it. I don't like it. My mom used to be one of those people that she lived in a 55 and older community or 65 and older community. And so she'd be like, I don't want to live out here with all those old people. And I was like, Mom, you're old. And now I know how she feel because I don't want to be around people my age. I like to be around people a little bit younger than me because I feel like I can relate to them more because of the things I'm doing with outside of, just being a retiree. So I really do not like getting older, but I accept it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of us, I said the other day, I don't feel like I'm, in my 40s, I'm knocking on 50. I'm like, I don't feel older. I feel like I'm still young. I feel like I could do a lot of things. I mean, sometimes my body says no when I think I'm saying yes. But, I really do feel like age is part of the heart. It's how you age, is how you feel is how you take it in, continuing to grow,
Mhm.
continuing to do things that, we need to do in life, reaching out to goals. Cause you just graduated recently, correct?
Yes, I after I retired, I went back. I had 2 years of college left for to get a degree. I had two associate's degree, and I always wanted to go back to school, and I always wanted to write. So the last 2 years, 2023 and 2024, I went back to college. I went to Virginia State and got my bachelor's degree and ended up graduating with a 3.9. And, I did something that I always wanted to do, finish going to college.
That's amazing. See, I mean, that's just continuing to live life, not looking at age as a number and making it be as if you're too old to do anything, just continuing to press through and continuing to grow. As we get older and we grow, is there a wrinkle in your life that you had to press through that shaped the person that you are now? What would that be?
Oh, that would be probably the 23 years I was married. I got married, I was young. My husband was older. So I went through a lot of things with him he had a drinking habit, gambling habit, drug habit, and just a lot of habits. And one of them was domestic violence. And when I finally was tired, because I didn't understand, people say, that person, when they're in that situation, they have to want to get out. And I never really understood what they mean. But when I got tired and I was done, and I got out of, a bad marriage. And then later on, I realized, I still had some issues related to that marriage. So I sought therapy. So I would think that was like the one of the biggest things that shaped my life and I don't regret it because look at who I am now compared to I don't know what I would have been without going through all that stuff.
Right. We go through some things that is unexpected, and you, like you said, you didn't expect to be going through that when you got married. What advice would you give to women that may be in this same situation?
Love yourself. Just start loving on yourself. Love yourself. Get up in the morning, hug yourself, and feel that you are worthy. And tell yourself that you are worthy and you deserve better. And when you find the strength, go. That first day that you feel strong enough, that's your day. That's your cue. You need to get out because if you don't, you'll stay a little bit longer. You'll stay a little bit longer. But if you love yourself and you have confidence, you will get out of that situation. And I will tell you, by the time I got out of my marriage, I was making way more than my ex-husband. The shoes had reversed where I was more or less taking care of him financially than he was taking care of me. And I think, the biggest thing that pushed me out of my marriage was my daughters. I did not want them to continue seeing was going on in our household. So I think if you're a woman and you're going through that and you have children, if you don't feel strong enough to get out for yourself, get out for them.
That's so true. And what motivated you to go back to school? What pushed you to go toward that goal, and how did you survive that?
So when I retired um, from the VA, I was just fortunate. I could have stayed. I was making really good money. I could have stayed, but the year before, I lost my mom to COVID, and that kind of changes your whole mindset, right? Like, that loss and the fact that that space, which will never be filled, is a longing, and I was treated terribly through all of that and then some other things. So I did not want to work for the VA. And when I retired, I piddled around for a year. I stayed with my daughter in California for a little while and my friend in Arizona for a little while. And then I was like, what do I really want to do? Because I can't sit at home all day. I can't sit at home. I don't have that type of mindset. And, I decided to go back to school. So I moved back to the Virginia area and went to VSU for 2 years.
So I love that you said something. You snuck it in a little bit. You said that you went to therapy. And what made you make that decision?
It was a couple of things. I had, tried therapy through the VA as a veteran, and as a VA employee and a veteran, it's a very uncomfortable situation because there are things that I would have liked to talk about with my therapist that I couldn't because I don't know, you don't know what your privacy looks like as an employee with VA. And people say, well, people can't look at your record. I know that's not true. They can't look at your record, or they can get somebody else to do it for them. So, so I kept finding therapists within the VA, and then, I would go a couple sessions and I couldn't talk about or be free to talk about what I wanted to discuss. Anyway, so fast forward when my mom passed, my youngest daughter, she was talking to me. She's like, Mom, you need to find a black therapist because honestly, the VA has a lot of older white men as therapists. I don't know if it's everywhere, but I know in the DC area it is. So I started paying for a therapist out of my pocket, a black therapist. And then one day I was like, I'm paying all this money for a black therapist. I need to see if they'll find me one. And I asked my provider, I'm like, can I get a black therapist? And she told me she'd give me a community care consult, and that's how I ended up with a black therapist. And I didn't trust her because still, I'm like, the VA is paying you. I'm not paying you. Will you betray my confidence? Can I trust you with my secrets? So it took me about a year and a half to really open up to her. And when I finally did, I just felt so free, like, and my confidence in myself grew. And I have to say, I've been blessed with a really good therapist. She is one of the best people, like, even if she wasn't my therapist, she has the personality to be one of the best people that you would ever meet. Very kind-hearted, very motivating. And I just appreciate that from her because it took me a long time to trust anybody with my secrets and to talk about them.
That's something that, therapists, I mean, so many in the Black community, for sure, therapy always had this stigma that we didn't do therapy, that Black people didn't do therapy. And I love that it's becoming more of a common thing with the Black community. And I love that you were like, you know what, I want to find the right therapist for me, you know? And you kept doing that until you did find the right therapist for you, you know? That's
Yes.
amazing. And
Yeah.
all that you have
It
been
was a
through.
difficult journey.
Yeah, yeah. All that you've been through and all that you've pressed through. Let's say you got a t-shirt made that signifies the woman that you are now. What would that t-shirt say?
I do t-shirts. I have a t-shirt line on the side. I didn't mention that because it's one of the things that, but to support my Etsy, I started a t-shirt line, and this morning I made a shirt that says "The Woman," and so that's what I think kind of signifies me. I'm a dope black woman. Like if people look at me, they may think, she's just a normal everyday person. But beyond that, if they dig a little bit deeper, they'll find that I am a dope black woman, that I have a lot to offer. I have a lot of knowledge. I have, and that I want to give back to the community. That I'm not just one of the people that want to sit down and talk about it. I want to actually show by my actions that I'm for the community and I'm for moving forward.
And I know for a fact that you are a dope black woman. And I know for a fact that you are doing amazing things in the community. You are just a pioneer for those people out there. You're helping so many people. Tell us all the things, because you just added the t-shirt stuff, because I didn't know about that. Tell me everything that you're doing in our community.
So most recently I was on a radio show out of Baltimore advocating for Black veterans. And that was my first radio interview, so I was asked back, and so I'm going back on to be interviewed again by them on the week of May 13th. I also do veteran stand downs. I've been involved in um, answering questions from veterans about benefits and stuff like that, because my background is claims, but I just, give them general information. I'm not trying to tell them how to do their claim. And then I also have I write editorials advocating for veterans. Out of my newsletter, I have an editorial I wrote for Word in Black. I'm hoping that it'll get approved. I also, when people call me, my name is out there a little bit in this area, so I get a lot of phone calls to help veterans with whatever. I recently helped one of our Black veterans. He is in a wheelchair, and know, he drives with his canes. And I told him, I was like, I'll come get you because I can't imagine you driving with your canes in your hand, and and then trying to concentrate, and you on the road in DC, and DC has bad traffic, so I've given him rides to his appointments, and just doing things like that, the small things to try to help veterans. When I'm out of my merchandise, I've given away free shirts. I see a veteran and he's doing something, and I'm like, hey, you want a free shirt? Just to give back, just to say, I'm blessed. I want to bless somebody else. And, I never stop and think about, anything but that, just helping other people.
Awesome. So let's talk about each thing individually. Your newsletter, how does someone get to read that or subscribe to your newsletter?
Okay. Currently, you can subscribe to my newsletter by going to my website, theblackveterannewsletter.com, and you just type in your email address, and I will pick it up and send you the email out of my newsletter email. You can also email me at theblackveterannewsletter@gmail.com. And then I'm on all social media except Twitter. I'm on Facebook. You can message me there. I'm on TikTok, and I am on Threads. And I'm on Instagram.
So you see those links coming across here, and you can subscribe. Let's subscribe. Great content from this amazing woman. I love reading it, love sharing it with veterans. It's something that is coming out on a regular basis, and it's educational, and it's some things that you can be informed in that you don't know about. And then you said also you're about to be on the radio again. What station is it?
It's I think it's W010 out of Baltimore. It's an AM station. I'm going to post it on my website, so the link will be available then. And then also I'm going to post the interview itself, my initial interview, so people can hear that. I just haven't had the chance to post it yet.
Okay, so that'll be there soon. And it sounds like you have an Etsy page.
Yes. Yeah, I have an Etsy page. It's called TB. It's called the TBN the newsletter. So it's TB as in Bravo, V as in Victor newsletter. And I have over 300 and some items. I have everything on there. I have like T-shirts that's for Black military history. I have T-shirts that's celebrating veterans, both male and female. I have T-shirts celebrating different branches of the service. I have some baby items on there. If you have, you're going to a baby shower, you're expecting a baby, I have some of those items on there. I have some of the 92% shirts on there, which is representative of the Black woman that voted for Kamala Harris. I have some T-shirts celebrating Juneteenth, which is coming up, in another 45 days or so. So I have a variety of things, and it fits everybody's budget. I currently have a sale for 25% off. So I'm sure that if you go there, you'll find something that you like.
Are busy.
Yes.
You are busy. Yes. With some great things, though. And then you still have books that are coming, correct?
Yes. So I have an autobiography. I'm going to rename my book, so I don't have the title yet. My title that I currently have is a little long, so I'm going to try to shorten it down. and I need to brainstorm a little bit more about that. So that book will be coming out probably in June or July. I'm working on another book called The Poetry Plot Thickens. It's a murder mystery, and it has the main character is a black man who is a street poet, but he's a different kind of street poet. He's not your everyday street poet, and that's all I'll say about him. I think people will love his character. Then I have a science fiction or superhero, anti-hero book I'm working on, in which I'm doing some of the things that's going on currently in our with this administration that is in office, and some of those things into my book. And so the main character in that book is a black woman. She's trying to figure out what happened to her, why she has these powers, because she doesn't know. But at the same time, her childhood friend is kind of the anti-hero. So one minute he's for her, the next minute she's like, what is going on? So that book, I hope to finish both of those books, the Poetry Plot Thicken and the science fiction book. I hope to finish those by August and have those out. And I'm working on my poetry book. I've written all the poems, but I have over 200 and something poems. But I need to go through and select which ones I will have for my poetry book. And I'm doing all that, and I'm expecting a new grandbaby in August. So I have to travel to California for a month to help my daughter and her husband with the new baby. So I'm trying to fit everything in while I'm trying. I'm also a dedicated mother. I'm always there for my daughters, so and grandmother. So
You are a true hero. I mean, you spent
thank
your
you,
life being a hero for this country, but you are a hero still for this country because you are doing so many great things. And I thank you. I truly
thank
do.
you,
I thank you for all that you're doing. The books that you're writing are amazing. The newsletter that you write is amazing. And then just continuing to be an advocate for those out there that need that encouragement, the education. Continue to do you. I appreciate it so much.
thank you. I appreciate that, Summer. I appreciate it because
Yeah.
sometimes we don't know. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going in the right direction. I don't know if I should keep all this up. And every time somebody keeps encouraging me, it keeps me going. Because what I may not see in myself, you may see in me. So I thank you for those kind words. I appreciate it.
And I also want to say to you being, a hero from getting out of a domestic violence situation, I don't think that in society we talk about that enough. That there are so many women right now that are in homes that they are not safe. And there are so many resources out there to help women get out of those situations. So, for myself and Janise, if you are dealing with a domestic violence issue, there are a website that I'm gonna put here that you can go to, and also you can reach out to any resource in your local area to get out of that situation. We want you safe, and like Janise said, love yourself enough to know that you're worthy to not be in that situation. You're worthy to be
Yes,
safe and loved.
yes, yes, more than worthy.
Yeah. Well, Janise, thank you so much for coming to the Wrinkles family. You have, of course, blessed me. I'm always happy to see my friend. We've newly got
Yes,
to become friends, working on a
yes.
project together, and I've been blessed ever since I met you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for having me, Summer. I really appreciate your show. Thank you to your viewers, and just thank you for shining a light on me. It's so much appreciated, and you have the warmest spirit, so I really appreciate that. Very easy to talk to.
Thank you. Bye,
Thank
Wrinkle.
you.